Hey, what's up, listener? Thank you for pressing play this week on the Jock and Nerd podcast. Spider-Man remains in the MCU as Sony and Disney agree to a new deal.
Geekerific!
2021 could be the biggest year ever at the box office, and we've got the first trailer for the Birds of Prey movie, plus a listener-sponsored review of the 2009 movie Zombieland, and a whole bunch more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, October 3rd, 2019.
Oh, hi, I didn't hear you come in. This is Ross Marquand from The Walking Dead, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Now, if somebody could please explain to me what a geek boner is, my life would be complete. Until then, rock on, nation.
Check one. All right, this is really fans out there. Let's give it up. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. We're talking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. We're talking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert.
That's right, listener. We jockin', we nerdin', we spoiler alertin'. Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
Are you laughing at your own shit? And he's the nerd.
I am. I crack myself up sometimes. Over there in the corner is a puppet that always does the double tap. Never forgets. Of course, it's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
I also flushed twice.
You gotta flush twice and double tap once. You only YOLO once, Rugs, right?
Well, it depends.
You can only YOLO once.
If I get bitten by a zombie, I may YOLO twice.
Oh, you could YOLO later. What are you double tapping over there, Rugs? Anything? A keg? Nass? Anything?
I'm drinking a beer.
Double tap that keg.
Yeah.
Guys, I really need this show this week. I need this geek release because it's been a hell of a week at work. You ever have one of those weeks where it feels like a month? You ever have one of those weeks where you don't know what day of the week it is at any point in time? I'm sure everyone can relate. Quick story before we start about how out of it I was. Earlier this week, I came home for lunch and to let the dogs out from work. And I was eating some leftover pizza, and I was giving the dogs treats. So in the one hand, I'm eating pizza. I'm giving the dogs treats. I'm eating pizza. I think you can guess where this is going. I accidentally ate a dog treat. Oh, shit. And I didn't realize it until after I put it in my mouth and swallowed it. I was like, what the fuck did I just put in my mouth? Because it had a similar consistency of old pizza crust. So that's how out of it I am. My mind is mush.
You should try and put the dog food on the pizza.
Oh, dog food pizza. You know what?
I've had that once.
It wasn't that bad, tell you the truth.
I've had worse things, Imran.
I would give it 3 out of 5 stars for dog treats. Oh, that's right.
Yes.
I'll send some dog food over for you, Rugs.
Yeah, make sure it's Alpo. It's my favorite.
Anthony, ever tried human grade dog food? It's nice.
No.
You should try it.
No.
It's, you know how much protein are in these dog treats? Lots of protein. Anyways.
I was trying to think of some sort of dog food brand.
Yeah.
You ever smell like, you open up a thing of bacon strips for your dog, and you're like, hey, it kind of smells pretty good.
Dude, listen, we spoil our dogs. They eat better than us. So we got high grade, clean treats. So look, just for the listener, I apologize in advance if I say things that are even more ridiculous than usual. Because my brain is pudding right now.
He's eating dog food, this people.
Eating dog food.
How did it taste?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It just kind of dissolved in my mouth and got soft. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
He just rolled over and wanted someone to rub his belly.
I was like, oh, here's my balls. And with that, I was like,
my balls was hot.
Okay, we got a lot of
too much information about Imran and his dogs.
Sorry. I love my dogs. A lot of geek news to get to.
Rubbing.
Let's hit it.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
Listen, I have female dogs, so I'm the alpha with the balls.
Oh, okay.
All right? And they know this.
Do they?
I don't know. No, they control everything, really, as dogs do. You know.
I thought we were going to get through an intro without mentioning any kind of genitalia, but
no, doesn't happen yet.
Again.
No, this doesn't happen around here. You can't get through the first 30 seconds without a dick joke in the Talking Nerd podcast.
That's what you pay for.
Look, big news hitting the geek stream just 5 weeks after Spider-Man's movie Mommy and Daddy had a very public breakup. Spidey's back in the MCU.
Oh, shit.
Even though he kind of didn't really leave at all, right? The news came out that Sony had agreed to the initial terms that Disney originally proposed. Here's the new deal. It's a little bit different than the first deal in 2015 that came out of the Sony email hacks of 2014. A deal that was very public. You know, it was a very unique situation. Everybody read all this shit. This time, not so public. So, Spidey's coming back for a third Spider-Man movie in the MCU, shepherded by Kevin Feige. John Watts coming back to direct. They even have a date. This movie's coming out July 16th, 2021. Puts it firmly in phase 4.
Geek boner.
And the deal also calls for Spider-Man to appear in one more Disney/Marvel movie. The monies, this is what they both finally agreed on. Marvel is going to co-finance 25% of this third movie and receive 25% equity stake coming back at them. This was crazy. And then the most recent news was that Tom Holland himself was instrumental. I don't know how much of this to believe. Apparently at like the 11th hour when the deal was dead, Tom Holland goes to Tom Rothman, CEO of Sony, and Bob Iger. And it has a little bit of leverage because Holland's starting in the Uncharted movie for Sony.
Which is another thing. What the hell?
Yeah, he's going to be Nick, what's his name? Nick Drake?
Yes.
Is it Nick Drake?
Yeah. So he had
that's wild because he doesn't look anything like that. He doesn't even remind me of that character.
I will tell you one thing though.
Maybe the young version when he's a child.
Stunt wise, watching the bonus stuff on the Spidey Far From Home, he does a lot of his stunts himself. A lot of practical stunts. He likes to get thrown around. Obviously, he's very physical. Nick Drake is from The Bad. That's like a musician. I don't know who that is. I made up that name. Well,
the only reason I say this is that Nathan Drake was based off Johnny Knoxville.
Oh, so he's supposed to be like a wise ass, fucking jackass asshole person.
Yeah.
I can't see lovable Holland. That's going to mess up his whole.
I guess it's called acting for a reason.
Isn't he voiced by that guy? Isn't he supposed to be like Nathan Fillion or something? That's what I always thought.
Is that who voices in the video game?
I thought that's what he was modeled after, like the way he looks is Nathan Fillion.
He does look like Fillion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does kind of look like Fillion. He was, wait, here, I pulled it up. He's a mix of, he's based on he looks like Johnny Knoxville.
Okay.
But he's supposed to be a mixture of Harrison Ford and Bruce Willis.
Oh, shit. Okay. And you put all this together and you get Tom Holland?
And you get Tom Holland.
Okay, sure. Why not?
I think he's just too small.
He's going to have to bulk up.
Anyways,
listen, what were your thoughts when this thing broke? Who is this deal better for that both parties come out getting something? It's kind of... I go back and forth. I'm not sure who got the better end of the deal.
Who got the better end?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Marvel got the better end because they were the ones that drug Sony through the mud, made them look stupid, and then they came back and made a deal.
Yeah, they used the public outcry.
As far as the money, I mean, I don't really know. Like, I don't know all the finances, so I don't know.
Well, they're taking
more, right?
They're getting
investing some, so it's going to take a little bit of the edge off the price tag of the movie in the beginning, but then they're going to lose like a nice chunk of the money on the back end. So I think I don't know. I mean, it depends how much money the movie makes.
Right.
I mean, it'll make
$1 billion. It's a significant amount of money.
Disney still has Spider-Man merchandising rights, also.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think Disney comes off better.
Yeah, I was going to say publicly Disney comes off better. I think at the end of the day, I think I mentioned it when this first happened. I had a good feeling they would eventually work it out because there was no one that was going to win if they didn't work out.
Right.
Now at least like they both kind of feel better and both kind of escape publicly looking a lot better. Whereas if it didn't work out, then there would be definite losers in both situations.
What does Sony get out of this? That's besides the fact that they don't look like assholes anymore.
Well, Sony gets to. I think a lot of people liked Tom Holland and
Yeah.
they like him in the MCU, so they get to keep that. They get to end this storyline that they've created in the first two. They also, I don't know if you guys read what Feige came out with, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he basically admitted that the Sony stuff moving forward is also going to be incorporated.
So here's the quote. He said, Spider-Man also happens to be the only hero with the superpower to cross cinematic universes.
Yep.
So as Sony continues to develop their own Spideyverse, you never know what surprises the future might hold.
So that's what I was asking. Does Venom appear in the MCU?
Or does Spidey appear in Venom for Sony? Does it go back and forth?
All of that's possible.
Sony has 900 Spider-Man characters known as Sony's universe of Marvel characters. They may cross over. So, Anthony, what you're saying is the cross of this shared detailed universe can happen.
Right.
That's exciting for Sony.
Yeah, I think it's more likely that they'll make this one more Marvel film with Tom Holland with the MCU producing. They'll do the one film where he's in a MCU film, but then it's basically like the blessing to now take Tom Holland and put him in the Sony universe too.
You think Tom Holland sticks around for that, or they have to lock him up?
I think I have to believe that they've sort of locked up another movie or two out of Tom Holland to do this.
Unless the deal extends again after the movie makes another $1 billion.
I could see this movie ending with some sort of like alternate universe where he has to step into another New York City in Earth 1769 or some shit like that.
I'm happy that they can wrap up their cliffhanger and give Spider-Man a really quick trilogy of movies before, even Guardians gets its third movie. All this happened very quickly. But on the other hand, Marvel owns 25% of Sony's crown jewel IP. But on the other hand, Sony gets Marvel's creative power to continue to build up this character with the Disney brand. But I think ultimately the House of Mouse gets what it wants.
Oh, shit.
No matter what.
Well, there was also a lot of rumors that they wanted to use Spider-Man to pump up Captain Marvel.
Oh.
And that might be the next film that he's in, is in the next Captain Marvel. Because there's a lot of stuff coming out about how the fans are kind of like meh on Captain Marvel.
Right, so how can we juice it up?
So how do we juice her up?
So I have
Spider-Man
so many different thoughts. How do you guys think Marvel can solve the Spider-Man problem? There's a couple of options because now Feige has a chance to provide closure and write Spidey out of the MCU if that is the end game. You could intro the Spideyverse. If Marvel wanted to be dicks, they could kill Spider-Man.
Oh, shit.
And maybe bring in Miles Morales. You could have Spider-Man retire.
Yeah, but they don't own Miles either.
Sony owns Miles Morales. Yes.
Yeah, so that's stupid.
They could kill Spider-Man and force Sony to recast. It could be like Spidey was a Skrull in the MCU and he wasn't over there. I don't know. There's a bunch of crazy ways they could wrap this up.
Obliterate Spider-Man, like chop off his head, because in comic books you could always make someone come back. Right?
Yes, yes, and there's multiple versions, but I have a feeling Feige wants to have an endgame for Spider-Man in the MCU, seeing as how this played out the first time. Maybe they won't be able to renegotiate again. But as far as look,
if Disney really wanted to get Spider-Man back, they have to play the long game and just let Sony fail.
Yes, they're going to have to give it to Sony for a while.
Let them fail, and then they're going to be like, it's not cost-effective for us to spend money on this movie anymore, because Sony's on rocky ground as it is. It's just a waiting game.
I was kind of excited to see what Sony would have done with this Spider-Man.
This is actually propping Sony up.
Yes.
And making the deal of them getting Spider-Man back like 100%, more of an impossibility. At best, they're going to get 25%. That's all they're going to get. Maybe they'll get another 30%, maybe another 50%.
Who, Disney?
Yeah, maybe they'll ratchet it up to 50 at some point. But I don't know. I think this is the only thing holding up Sony right now.
Feige is worth the 25% they're going to give them, but they're also putting in 25%. So makes sense.
I don't know. It's crazy.
The date, July 16th, 2021, puts this movie before Black Panther and Thor. But after Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, what if they put Spidey in the Doctor Strange movie and they introduce the multiverse concept there, and then it plays out at the end of the third movie? Also, Who's the villain going to
possible.
be? You know, you could introduce Kraven in this one. You could do Chameleon. I'm sure Feige had a plan and for a third
certainly
movie.
had a plan.
You know,
I would my expectation is Kraven.
yeah.
I think that Marvel wants to do Kraven before Sony does it and ruins it.
Yeah.
But
Probably.
I mean, I don't know if Sony will ruin it, but I mean, in their eyes, that's what they think. So
The other thing is, as far as his cameo movie, in the comics, Spidey has teamed up with so many characters that we know in the MCU and that we're going to meet. So you could have him introduce the Fantastic Four. He's buddies with Johnny Storm. What if Peter needs a lawyer to clear his name because of what Jonah did and he hires Matt Murdock?
Geek boner.
You could bring in Daredevil. He's been buddies with Doctor Strange, like I just mentioned, put him in the Multiverse of Madness. Wolverine, if you introduce the X-Men, he's buddies with Iceman, Wolverine. Or what about when they bring Deadpool into the MCU, they use Spider-Man because they also have a tenuous relationship in the comics. You could do all these things.
Deadpool and this Spider-Man, this fluffy Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No. Deadpool and the real Spider-Man, who's fucking like more of a quippy.
That's true.
You know,
that's how it is in the comics. Yes.
Sarcastic asshole Spider-Man, which is the one I love. Not here.
In fact, in the comics, it's hilarious because that Peter Parker is so annoyed by Wade Wilson in the comics. Like, he even bugs Spider-Man, as cocky and as quippy as he is. He's like, really? I got to deal with
like
this
MCU
fucking guy.
Spider-Man's just so fluffy and like,
Yeah. He's Tony Stark light. He's he's like a rich kid with a trust fund, you know?
Yeah.
No, but nobody's concerned that that he's Spider-Man.
Awesome.
Yeah. He tells people he's Spider-Man and they're just okay with it. Nobody's slightest bit concerned.
Yeah.
It's great. He's all thumbs up.
Hey, hot girl, you want to go with me? Yep. Okay.
Sure.
Awesome.
Why not?
Yay, that was great.
But I think the fans win ultimately in the end because we'll get another Spider-Man movie. So, I mean, I'm excited, but also I was like, okay, interesting what's going on. We'll see how long it lasts this time.
At least one more movie.
One more movie, one more cameo. Can they throw him in any of these Disney Plus shows? Does that count? Is that skirting around the contract? I don't know. That could be cool.
I don't know. Sony's got the rights of TV locked up too.
Yeah, they're making all these movies and TV shows
but Marvel's
based on all
that
these
Spider-Man
villains.
cartoon. I think animation. I think that's off the table. I don't know, what is it.
It's complicated. There's also the What If, so you can have Tom Holland voice Spider-Man in an episode of What If or something. Anyway, Spider-Man's back, baby. So what do you call the third movie? Back at Home, Homecoming again. You gotta have the word home in it.
Home ain't what it used to be.
Home ain't what it used to be. Home is where the heart is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little.
Ain't no place like home.
No place like home for now.
No place like home.
No place. For now, Spider-Man is still in the MCU. Listener.
Home for the holidays.
Home. Boo. So cheesy. Listener, let us know what you think of this deal. Oh, many of you have. Join our Facebook group. It's called the Jock and Nerd Nation. Exclusive closed group just for you. Get in there. Geek out with us all.
Spread the geekery. It's the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Well, yeah, you're not triggering me to end the show this time, Anthony. I'm on to your shenanigans. I do want to welcome a couple of people that have joined this week. Welcome Monty Garland, Isaiah Jobis, Sean Marsh. Sorry. See, this is what you get. I mispronounced your name even though I have it written down. And Bobby Bunoy, who listens to us in Pandora.
Nice.
And Bobby
in Pandora?
on
Pandora? Like Avatar?
He's in Avatar. He's actually at the Panera in Pandora listening to Pandora. I like to listen to Pandora in a Panera. Only in a Panera. Pandora and Panera. No, listen, Bobby
Quiet, you.
Quiet. Bobby Bunoy listens to us in Pandora. He loves all the hosts, but he also has a similar geek podcast and Facebook group community.
Really?
Called The Average Four, which I kind of like. It's a funny name. We'll play off Fantastic Four. So this is why he joined. He's like, I have a podcast like your guys, and you guys are a lot of fun. So we are glad to have Bobby. And I think those other guys are buddies of his from The Average Four. Anyways, welcome, everyone.
Thanks.
Also, shout out to our awesome group admin, John Bellotti Jr. He is right now at New York Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
Tabling with Tchaikovsky's there, and Jimmy Shea, I think, flew in to go there, and I hope Bilotti gets to meet some of our listeners. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, by the time you listen to it, it'll be over.
Good luck, John.
That's true, John. I hope you sold a lot of shit by the time you listen to this.
Yeah.
And we'll see what news breaks next week we'll have it for you at New York Comic Con. Okay, before all this Spidey deal broke, first of all, it was so inconsiderate of them to release this like the day after we released the podcast.
Oh, shit.
What the fuck, Disney? I've sent you our schedule.
Seriously.
What are you doing? Such bullshit. They could have waited.
Bullshit.
They could have waited. This is old news.
Yippee!
But before, Tom, is that you? It's Mickey Mouse Tom Holland. Hi, guys. I gotta go fight Mysterio. That's really good. We should do Mickey Mouse Spider-Man.
Oh, that's what it is.
That's what it is. Oh, man. Oh, MJ.
You know, Mickey Mouse is like completely like watered down.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing offensive about
They've
Mickey Mouse
Mickey
anymore.
Mouse Spider-Man. But before all this news broke, a couple of interesting stories like a day before. Sony comes out saying they are developing a Spider-Man spin-off movie for Madam Web, which is
Ooh.
quite confusing.
Sign me up.
Geek boner.
Maybe Geek Boner or Floppy Jock?
Floppy Jock.
Which one? What do you think?
I like
Yes.
I don't know what Madam Web is.
So this is the
old
problem.
ladies with cobwebs.
Madam Web is an obscure character. She's never had her own book. She's a supporting character in Spider-Man's universe. She's kind of a cross between like Doctor Strange, Charles Xavier. She's an old blind woman that looks over the web of time. And she's been instrumental in the cartoon. And
What the fuck?
She got kidnapped by Juggernaut once. And multiple people have been Madam Web.
That sounds like Uatu the Watcher.
Kind of a little bit for the Spider-Man universe. So recently, one of the Spider women, Julia Carpenter, I think is her name, was also got the powers of Madam Web. Basically, though, they could use her to really get into the Spider-Verse and bring in more people and show Spider-Man. But like, this, Sony's just making these crazy Spider-Man villain supporting movies.
Movies that nobody wants.
Morbius, and they're probably going to do Silver and Black, and they're doing Venom 2. It's very strange.
I don't want to see anything anymore. Right?
Right?
Just stop making movies.
Shut it down. Everybody
We've gotten to the dregs right now.
God, you're doing Madam Web like
Yeah.
only hardcore old school Spider-Man fans.
And not, I'm one of those, and I don't even want to see that.
I'm like, fucking Madam Web, this is who you pick?
It seems kind of rough. I don't know what the hell. I don't know how you release that, and anyone's like, "What?"
Yeah. They're like,
What are
huh?
you talking about?
Mostly, what? So, yeah, she's confined to a wheelchair. She has a degenerative disease.
They should just make a movie of the Land O'Lakes lady. Like, that's basically, I mean, it's like, how obscure can you get?
The Land O'Lakes lady meets Uncle Ben from
Yeah.
the Rice Box.
Yeah.
They hang
Start
out.
doing that.
They hang out with the Starbucks mermaid.
Yeah.
I like it. Get it done.
Mrs. Butterworth is hanging out there.
Mrs. Butterworth is there. Mr. Clean's the bouncer.
Yeah.
And then you have
That's
I got the Mr. Clean reference. That's about it.
there
so
you
far.
go. What about the brawny toilet paper towel guy? He shows up for
I got that guy. Yeah.
a cameo.
They should make that extended universe. I would rather watch that than Madam Web.
Adam
I
Web.
want to know what Miss Butterworth has got to say.
What? Yeah. How do you base a show around this?
It's a movie. They're gonna make a
A
movie.
movie.
Yes.
I mean, a movie. Sorry. How do you base a movie around
Not
this?
sure. Yeah,
Like,
really.
what does she do?
So
that can,
you could have
can
multiple.
drive a plot forward.
She would have multiple Madam Webs. Julia Carpenter, the second Spider-Woman, would be getting the powers, and I don't know. The cops would be involved with some. I don't know.
There's
how
no way you can sell this to me. There is
Madam Web.
nothing. I
Yes.
mean, like, Morbius, it's a fucking vampire at
Yeah,
least.
there's
And you're
something.
like, okay, you
Yeah.
can probably fucking do some Dracula
Even
shit.
Black Cat and Silver Sable. There's stuff there about
If
them.
they use, I mean, I don't know, they have some espionage, they got cat burglaring and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
All right, it could be interesting.
But
But
you'd have.
Madam Web?
It would be like
It's like a dude just, it's like the equivalent of a dude looking like at the internet. It's like the same thing. She's just looking at the fucking time stream. That's what she's doing.
Yes, she is controls all the multiple. Yeah, Sony.
Somebody touch my
I
spaghetti!
don't know. Wait,
Just
no.
stop making movies.
Sony. Here, I'll give Sony this clip.
Well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit. So it's together.
I don't know what.
I do enjoy that.
I
clip.
love that clip, Sony.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing, Sony, with Madam Web. Then the other story, also same day before the Spider-Man thing broke. Kevin Feige apparently developing a new fucking Star Wars movie with Kathleen Kennedy.
Geek boner.
How does he have any time?
I know, that's what I'm wondering. He's got to deal with Phase 4, Phase 5, the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, and now Star Wars.
What's the rumor? Like, the rumor
on his
is
plate.
that Feige,
Whatever.
Yeah.
Feige wants is basically like backdooring himself into Star Wars land.
Yeah, he wants to be the lead guy.
And he wants to basically run all of the real big temples.
Right. Yeah. Just a little background.
Yeah.
Apparently he's always been a Star Wars fan first.
Yes, so that's what I heard too. Yeah.
Based the Marvel Cinematic Universe and a lot of what he did to build that around Star Wars.
This is kind of like his proof of concept.
Right. And then when they made the deal with Disney, this was his chance to prove
Let me tell you something. Star Wars needs the Feige. That's for fucking sure right now. Because even Bob Iger admitted last week, we went a little too fast and too much.
I mean, I would agree that I think he's a good producer. It's not a 1-to-1 though.
Mm-hmm.
Like Marvel has all these characters that you can pull in and pull stories for.
Yep.
He's going to have to create new characters.
Can you MCU the Star Wars universe?
This is the thing. They have a bunch of lore that they've used in various video games and books that people know of that are really, really hardcore Star Wars fans. The novels and shit like that. You can take from those and bring the best out of those things.
But is he spreading himself too thin is also my concern, even though they need him to bring the best out of Star Wars.
I don't know. I mean, if you're a fan of Star Wars, you know what makes Star Wars work, and you know what the potential for Star Wars can be, then you can make it awesome. But Rogue One, for example, was an example of some. This could happen in the Star Wars universe, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a tropey Star Wars movie, but it could be a thing in its own that is awesome.
It's a great standalone Star Wars story.
And just like Marvel movies, they have movies that are like a heist movie and shit like that. So this same idea can work for Star Wars, and they're trying to do that. They tried to do that with Solo. They tried to do that with Rogue One. You know, The Last Jedi got so much bad press and so much vitriol from fans and stuff that didn't like it. So if that movie didn't come out first, I think that Solo would have done better, and everything else would have worked. But this quote from Alan Horn, Walt Disney Studios co-chairman, he says that they're working in Star Wars and also Indiana Jones with Lucasfilm, because that falls all under Lucasfilm. With President Kathleen Kennedy. She's a great producer, but I think they could use his skills.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I think they should leave that alone.
How do you keep Indiana Jones going?
Oh, they will, and they do.
I mean, I'm seeing Rambo come out, which boggles my mind, but that's not a universe.
Yeah, but Indiana Jones is like 3 great movies.
And it is Harrison Ford.
It's all about Indiana Jones.
You can't recast Indiana Jones.
There's what other characters are going to be like a side film for that?
I don't know. You need Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones.
That dies eventually.
But do you think he could MCU the Star Wars universe, build solo movies and then do a team movie?
Maybe.
Do you do the same thing for that?
I feel like Star Wars, and again, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, always got a preference. I feel like they're trying their hand at a lot of things. Like they have J.J. Abrams doing this. They have the thing with
they got the Game of Thrones guys working on something.
Yeah, they got the Game of Thrones guys working on something. They got the show coming out on.
They got the Mandalorian with Favreau,
right? And then they got now Feige doing his own. I feel like they're doing a bunch of different things. I don't know if this is all cohesive.
Ryan Johnson's got a thing. I'll say the Mandalorian with Jon Favreau's flavor. This already kind of feels like an MCU meets Star Wars kind of thing. Starting out already. So that looks really good. But man, Feige is going to be fucking busy for the next few years.
I feel like, I don't know, how do they keep it fresh? It's weird.
You gotta introduce some new characters, and they gotta be good. He is a fan, just like he was a fan of the MCU. So if he's bringing that same passion, yes. And I think what you said, Anthony, was right. It's like he secretly always wanted Star Wars.
That's the rumor.
To begin
now, let
with.
me ask you a question. Would you be interested in the origins of Star Wars?
Oh, like go back like Knights of the Old Republic and shit?
Even further back. Like
Ooh.
how did this whole conquest of space happen? Like how did all these people get on all these planets? How are all of these worlds discovered in each other and whatever? Like
Game of Thrones is kind of doing
warp
that.
drive, like how did that work?
I love that idea. Yeah, how did all these things come into being? Who discovered the first Jedi, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that.
So I think that's probably one of the things he could do is go before, just like the Game of Thrones is going to do the prequel 5,000 years before. Removes it from present canon, and you can add stuff and play in the thing. I don't know. So that Spider-Man movie coming out in 2021 is very interesting because that year will be the first time Disney Marvel releases 4 MCU movies in 1 year.
Geek boner.
Whoa. What year is that?
2021 will have Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi in February, Doctor Strange in May, Spider-Man in July, and Thor in November. 4 movies. Can they keep up with this and not have the quality fall flat on any of them? That's a lot.
Good thing the same guy's not directing all of them, huh?
Yeah, that would suck. So,
what stages are these movies in right now?
That's all.
They're all pre-production. Yeah, I think they're all still casting and all that.
Shang-Chi's probably will start sooner than everyone else, but none of these. They're all very
about to
early.
be 2020, so they got a year and a half.
It's
they'll probably all start filming, right?
And it's so crazy. Like every 2 years, we were given a Spider-Man movie since Homecoming, and that's amazing. But check this out: 2021 could be a huge year for movies. I'm going to read a list of all the big tentpoles that I found coming out in 2021. Okay, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man 3, Thor 4, Indiana Jones 5, Avatar 2, The Batman, The Suicide Squad, The Mortal Kombat reboot, Space Jam 2, Jurassic World 3, Fantastic Beasts 3, Sherlock Holmes 3 with Robert Downey Jr. probably, Fast and the Furious 10, the last Fast and the Furious, Mission Impossible 7, another Tomb Raider, John Wick 4, and the Masters of the Universe remake.
Oh,
that's never coming out. That
may not. That's questionable. But
what was the biggest year so far? Is this year?
It was 2019 was big. 2018 was big, but this it gets bigger and bigger with sequels and remakes and reboots and tentpole movies.
Well, the only thing I would say though is those are all like name franchises and sequels and have good cachet, but I don't. Maybe I'm just tired of a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
But there's not one movie on there where I'm like, this is years in the making. People are really anticipating this.
Avatar 2? No? Nobody?
Everything is
20
Avatar
years.
2. Definitely not Avatar 2.
Shang-Chi is the only thing that's remotely new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else we've seen before.
Yep. I mean,
this year had...
Isn't that fucking sad? I mean, Masters of the Universe, if they were to make it right, I would be fucking have a huge geek boner for it.
Yeah.
By the way, I just watched the first 3 episodes of that newer version of the Masters of the Universe where they did it right.
Yeah.
It was fucking badass.
The 2012 version.
Yeah, and I recommend everyone to check that out.
That's a great one. Wasn't there a Thundercats reboot too?
There was, but I mean, like, it failed. No one watched it, and no one watched this one either.
The Masters, it was very good. I remember watching that when it came out. Yeah. What came out this year, Anthony? How big? I mean, we still have Star Wars coming out.
What came out this year?
Yeah.
I mean, you had Endgame.
Oh, yeah. We had 3 MCU movies. Next year we'll have 2. And for them to give us 4 MCU movies.
What's the lineup for this year? What's 2020's lineup looking like?
I think it's a little bit quieter than 2021.
I know there's Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla vs. Kong and Black Widow. And what else?
What was the other 2020? Oh, Eternals.
And then, I mean, the big thing is going to be the Disney Plus shit once it launches.
Oh, you're saying movies. What are big movies?
Birds of Prey, The New Mutants, Eternals.
New Mutants still coming out? I doubt
it. The new James Bond movie.
Bad Boys for Life in January 2020.
Fast and Furious 9.
Wow, they're doing 9 and 10 back to back, just like Mission Impossible is doing 7 and 8.
Gun, Morbius, Ghostbusters.
Oh, the Ghostbusters is coming out.
Wonder Woman.
Bill and Ted. Artemis Fowl. I don't know what the fuck that is.
This next year is not going to be big in the box office.
This next year, there's a little bit of a break. Venom 2 is coming out, I guess, in 2020 also.
Oh, Coming to America 2.
Coming to America 2.
Mulan is coming out.
But none of these, Mulan might be pretty big. None of these, this isn't a huge next
Not like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, God.
The Croods, too. Bill and Ted. The 2021
lineup is better. Is
insane.
more popular than the 2020 lineup.
And a lot of franchises ending, like a Jurassic World, the third one, and Fast and Furious will close out that year. That's
going to be the year, I think.
That's going to be a crazy year.
Marvel's not really the big on this year. It's only like two movies.
And I think that's because of they're focusing on the Disney Plus shows and weaving it in. Ooh. Only 2 movies. When they've been giving us 3 movies for the last few years.
Wow, they're going to double it.
So it's going to go from 2 to 4 movies. Strap yourselves in. There's another interesting bit of news that came out. It sounds like all future Marvel TV shows under Marvel Television will be spearheaded by Marvel Studios.
Geek Boner
proper.
Well, they need to do that because they've been fucking it up the other way.
Yes, it was never all connected.
It was like Marvel's bitch. They just didn't respect it at all and just fucking treated it like shit.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has one more season and then it's done. That Ghost Rider show for Hulu got pulled. That's not happening.
What show?
The Ghost Rider on Hulu with
Ghost
Gabriel.
Rider.
Yeah, Ghost
I thought you
Rider.
said like Ghost Rider.
Ghost as in the writer?
Yeah.
No, Ghost Rider. As in Nicolas Cage standing around pointing a lot. That Ghost Rider. There's Runaways, Cloak and Dagger still running. But is it possible that we might see the Charlie Cox and the Mike Coulter and Jessica Ritter and even Finn Jones bring over their characters?
Kristen Ritter. Sorry.
Jessica Jones, Kristen Ritter. I combined them. I think this is,
I don't know. Maybe. I don't.
No way.
I don't know if there's a ton of hype though behind that. Other than Daredevil, all those shows really fizzled out.
I think you be missing the boat if you don't get Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox at least.
Yeah, those are good.
Because D'Onofrio
it's just those shows really took a nosedive in terms of public opinion.
Yes, and kind of quality. To some extent, because it was under Marvel Television and not Marvel Studios, and the two rarely talked or even, had coffee or anything.
I think that the Marvel Studios kind of had an apathy towards them, and they don't want to even associate themselves with that.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
That they want to wash their hands of that completely. It never existed.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're making 8 MCU shows on Disney Plus. You have these built-in audiences for these shows. Bring them over, redo them, reboot them. I would hate to see them die.
Plus, those things are way too hardcore for Disney. All those shows.
Yes, that's true. Also, another interesting story about the budgets that these Disney Plus shows reportedly up to $25 million per episode.
Oh, shit.
$12 to $25 million per episode, which if you compare that to the last season of Game of Thrones, HBO spent $15 million per episode. If you compare that to the Marvel shows on Netflix, their budget was about $4 million per episode. So they got the money to make these incredible shows and make them, movie quality where it's not going to seem like television. I think this is what we're going to get.
Hopefully it's good. I mean, it's just because he's done well producing movies, it is a little bit of a different animal producing a TV show. So
at what point does the 5G slip up? Still haven't seen any cracks of him slipping up yet. Or,
he's
the whole
probably got
franchise.
an army of dudes that do everything now.
Yeah. His time is worth 25% of the take.
Stan Lee all this credit, and then we find out all the artists were doing everything.
Yes, he was just going back and filling in the word
probably
bubbles.
the same thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of exciting stuff. November, it will be here soon. Disney Plus will launch a lot of exciting stuff to look forward to. This next thing, I'm not sure if it's exciting. Our Facebook Nation seems to be not on board with the Birds of Prey first trailer that they released, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. This movie should just be called Harley Quinn and Some Other People.
Right.
From the looks of the trailer. Anthony, did you watch this?
I did.
What is your thought? Because everybody seems to be hating on this. A little bit.
Wow. So I didn't see I try to avoid our page until after I do our review.
Yeah.
Or thoughts.
Right.
I did look at like Birth Movies Death.
Yeah.
And they talked really well about this trailer. So I thought the internet was like, oh, this is good. Me personally, I watched the trailer and I was like indifferent, really.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't really see anything like that. I think for me, first off, Birds of Prey is super niche. I didn't recognize any other character.
Yeah.
Like I didn't look at any of the other characters besides Harley Quinn and go, oh yeah, I can't wait to see Renee Montoya.
Yes, Rosie
or
Perez.
Huntress, or like who like they didn't even focus
introduce.
on those
No,
characters.
it was all Harley. That's
right.
They're using her. They didn't even introduce any of the characters.
I think for me, so it's a bunch of characters I don't really know, and then it's a lot of the vibe was a mix of like DC's Deadpool combined with Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
and I still had the stench of Suicide Squad still lingering on the trailer. I know it's a different director, so for me, I was just kind of like, I just felt kind of blasé about the whole thing. I was not excited, and nothing about the trailer made me excited.
Rugs, Geek Boner, or Floppy Jock?
Floppy Jock. I don't know. I'm like, the jury's out at this point. I just remember I watched the trailer and then I'm like, okay. I'm like, it looks like a Harley Quinn movie, and it seems like all right. It seems like pretty mediocre. It wasn't like there wasn't any shots that was like, oh shit, or
yeah.
And then when they did, like Anthony said, flash to the cast, everybody was not recognizable, and they weren't recognizable in Suicide Squad either.
Yeah.
For the most part, like
yeah.
But I think that was by design. Like you didn't know, like the Suicide Squad is like very obscure characters.
Yeah.
But Birds of Prey, you have Black Canary, which is like, in the Huntress, which are two like major characters that like you should know immediately when you see them. And you don't see them.
Yeah.
And
they
then,
didn't do a good job of like putting them in any focus.
Yeah. And, but even if they were in focus, you wouldn't know it was them because they don't resemble it. I mean, like, okay, let's say you want whatever you want to say about who they cast or whatever, but at least dress them somewhat like in the same vein, or like, or have something that kind of gives you like, okay, this person is Black Canary. Black Canary doesn't have a nose ring. Like, why does she have a nose ring? I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but like they do it. They just like with the Joker, they give him tattoos and no one liked that.
Yeah.
So it's like they're doing things. They made the same mistakes in Suicide Squad where they tried to make these bad guys or these things like super cool and hip or whatever, and it just falls flat. And I feel like they're trying too hard with these characters where you're like, Black Canary could be cool. Just let her be Black Canary. Huntress is cool. Like, let her, like, why isn't she wearing like a getup? Like, like a suit like Batman does. Like, why isn't she trying to be Batman? Like, that's what the Huntress is she's trying to be like Batman.
Yep.
Isn't Cassandra Cain supposed to be,
she's supposed to be a Batgirl at some point, right?
Yeah, she's like the one that doesn't talk, right?
Yes, she's mute, and like she was trained to be an assassin from a little kid.
Like, why aren't they in those fucking... Why
it's
are they
in name only. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing.
And they don't have to be, but Suicide Squad made that huge mistake.
Yeah.
Right? By making obscure characters look even more obscure than they're supposed to be. And whatever. At least Zack Snyder, when he made a movie, the characters look like the characters. And like you can at least get excited about that. So I know we're going to hear like all these people like, well, you're a nerd and you want nerd things. I'm like, well, yeah. That's what's the point of this. You're bringing something nerdy to life. Let's do it.
I mean, Anthony, the consensus of the nation when I posted this,
Floppy Jock.
Yeah, everyone's kind of shitting on it. I'm somewhere in the middle. It looks okay. I'll tell you what I like about this trailer.
I don't hate it. I just I'm not excited about it. That's all.
I'm like a little. I'm like in the middle, maybe leaning towards a little geek boner because I love Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, and as an actress, she's amazing. I like the colors. At least it's colorful. It's bright. It looks different. You got the hyenas in there. You got Ewan McGregor in a white suit. He's supposed to be the Black Mask. I don't see any Black Mask on him, but he looks like he's having a fun time. I like her doing the Lady and the Tramp bit with her idea. But is there a musical number in the middle of this? She's dressed up like Marilyn Monroe and she's dancing. I don't know. It's obviously
Deadpool, so it's going to break the fourth wall. It's going to be like dream sequences.
There are some cool moments where she jumps on that guy's leg and fucking smashes it, and there's like a nice drop kick at the end. But it's clearly like, hey, remember Harley? This is a Harley movie with some other people that you may not know. But I
mean, hopefully I'm wrong.
You see Victor Zsasz, he's got a few scars on his face. That's the dude with the scars. But very quickly.
I mean, they're basing all their marketing on Harley Quinn, which I guess is somewhat smart, but then the movie title's Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn and the Emancipation of Harley Quinn, or whatever the fuck it's called. It's just weird that like they didn't do anything, as Ruggs mentioned, to distinguish the other characters as anything recognizable.
And they may in another trailer. Another trailer might be all.
I don't think that they know to do that.
Yeah, we'll see.
What they're doing is they're trying to leverage the popularity of Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad because she was played by Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
and that whole sexualized version of that character was very popular. And now they're going to take that character and they're going to try to pivot it to a hero with this emancipation or whatever.
I mean, they did that in the comics, and look, she cuts her hair.
I think they did that after the Suicide Squad.
Oh. Right? Also, at the end of this, she kind of needs to be captured by Amanda Waller again because she is going to be in the Suicide Squad movie that comes out the next year.
Right.
So I like, her breakup with the Joker. I kind of like the girl gang vibe. This movie, written, produced, directed by women, with Margot Robbie probably producing.
Then they had to have a guy come in and shoot the action scenes.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Well, Kathy Yan, who's directed this, she's only directed like one movie before this, I think. Right. So, and then a bunch of shorts.
They had like a preview of it, and then they're like, the action's a little lacking. Then they go back and reshoot some of those scenes.
I mean, it almost looks really cartoonish. That bit at the end with the dynamite where she throws it out. She's like, here, hold on to this. It's like wacky chaos, cartoony. It is total Deadpool, which could work for this movie. Slight geek boner, but yeah.
Look, we have to see it.
Yeah.
Like, this trailer's not, you can't judge it off the trailer.
You can't judge it off the trailer. And, they're doing something crazy different with the Joker. This looks even more crazy different. But who would have thought after Man of Steel came out in 2013 that we would end up here like 6-7 years later with
a strange time,
right? With the fucking Harley Quinn led movie. Speaking of Joker, it will be out by the time this show posts. We will have our review next week. So everyone
week.
I mean, I definitely think this is a movie that you need to like watch and process and have some time.
I had a old coworker of mine text me, and he doesn't follow comic book movies at all, and he even texts me, which shows like how the just what's going on in culture.
Yeah.
He texted me and goes, what's the deal with this Joker movie? Why is everyone shitting on it?
I mean, yes, and somebody asked me that at work today also, probably the same guy that texted
Might be the same guy, yeah.
And I was like, bro, I don't know. Is it going to help or hurt the box office? They're estimating a global opening of 155, domestic like 80. The Rotten Tomato score has dropped to 69%, average rating 7.4
because
out of
people
10.
All right. Let's do a.
I'm trying to stay away from the reviews until I see.
Let's do a rug down real quick.
Okay. I don't have it.
Oh, fuck it.
Here's the rug down.
That's perfect.
All right. If your job is to review movies or to be a public persona, you have to disclaimer this movie because people are gonna freak out if you don't take responsibility for this movie. That's why this is happening. If you're, these people don't want to be, they obviously they care about their jobs and they don't want to seem like callous or anything like that or whatever.
They are.
But, so they love this movie, right? But they can't, and when it first came out, before all of this hype was,
the film festival crowd loved it.
People loved this movie. Like, even a few weeks ago, when the first reviews were coming out, they were very positive.
Yeah, and now
that there's been like a swell of the people associating this with the with the Joker that shot up that movie theater and all this other stuff, and they'd be like, you have to be responsible. And then Todd Phillips came out with his thing about woke culture, and he bashed that. So now the line in the sand has been drawn, and now you're like, okay, now it's been politicized, and so you have to kind of disclaimer this movie. You have to do that. So the reviews are not going to be what it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago before Todd Phillips came out with that article and bashed woke culture.
So I thought that was misreported that he called himself the Joker, that somebody just went with it later.
Yes.
I don't know if that really happened.
We don't know anything because the fucking you hear shit. You're like, oh, that sounds true.
Yeah.
But then you don't know how true it is. But that's the point. It's like, I think that if Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix walked out of an interview because
somebody asked him that question and he just got up.
And there was
What was
no
the
way
question?
there was no way for him to answer it without, because there's how do you be in a movie about a antagonist and be like, oh, do you think it's a good thing for you being in a movie with an antagonist in it? Like, how do you answer that now? Like, 5 years ago, you could be like, yeah, every fucking movie is about it. You watch The Shining, watch fucking Monster, watch
Every movie has an
American
antagonist.
Psycho. But it's from the bad guy's point of view.
Sure.
So I mean, all these movies come out. They come out like every 2 or 3 years. These movies from the bad guy's point of view.
So the guy asked him if Joaquin thought the movie will inspire violence, and
shut up.
he just got up and left.
That's
Natural
the
Born
right.
Killers, like all
That's
of
the
these
appropriate
movies.
response.
Fucking Taxi Driver, like this is.
If someone asks you that, they obviously have an agenda.
Yes,
So
clearly
he just got up and walked out.
Yeah,
That's
which
a good
is a
response.
good. That's a good response.
So that started people like, oh, this is fucked up. These people are not taking responsibility for this film that they've made. And then Todd Phillips went and he did something stupid, which is he said, I stopped making comedy movies because of woke culture.
Right.
So it has nothing to do why he made the Joker movie, really.
Yeah.
He just said he wanted to get out of making comedies because he couldn't do the comedies that he liked doing, which was like
he's getting a lot of shit
like
for
his
that.
brand. He can't do anymore. Not that I think that what he said, like he said it wrong. He said all comedy can't be made, which is not true. You can make comedies, but just you can't make the Todd Phillips like Old School and The Hangover. You can't make those anymore without having the same kind of microscope being put on you or all these people talking about your movie. And so it's a headache. Corporate entities they're skittish about making these movies.
I mean, but at the end of the day, this is art. I'm going to go in and appreciate this artful expression for what it is. A fictional story of a fictional place.
You owe everyone an explanation now for why you're doing an art piece.
It's ridiculous. Art was supposed to be thought-provoking and push boundaries and make people think of uncomfortable things when it's done right. But all of a sudden, I'm seeing these headlines of these reviews of bad reviews for Joker seemingly all at once come out. I'm like, wow, what the fuck is going on?
I'm legitimately like, how did this happen? Because I just remember the build up to this movie. We were just talking about this as a film and like, should they make a Joker origin movie? Not because like it's going to promote violence, but like, is that really like what we want to see? Do we want to see do we really want to peek behind the curtain of a madman?
Right.
Oh, this is interesting. We
or
have
even
Joaquin
if it takes
Phoenix.
away the mystery of the Joker.
Right. Yeah. But it was all debate around story. And then we saw all the stuff come out with the film festival, how this is going to get Oscar nominations, and this was amazing. And just the left turn this took is unbelievable.
It was so crazy.
By the way, I have to give myself a pat on the back. I feel like I did a pretty good rug down impression.
You absolutely did. I don't think I need to use the soundbite anymore.
He owes the rug down.
You do the best rug boy.
He does. He's got a gift.
So everyone enjoyed the Joker movie this week.
I'm gonna see it on. So we're recording Thursday. I'm gonna see it Friday night.
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure I look at all the exits, Imran, for you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So and I have an easy access out, and I'm gonna come with a bulletproof vest. So we'll see what happens.
Kevlar, maybe.
And I'm anticipating when I walk out to be like have tomatoes thrown at me for supporting something like this.
Enjoy all the incels that'll be sitting around you, I guess.
Well, listen, this is
You all want to shoot up the world after.
This is the thing that is weird about this is that, okay, you have all these people talking shit about this movie, saying that it shouldn't be out, whatever. But everybody's buying tickets to this thing.
Yeah,
it's gonna break records.
Fandango said it's breaking pre-sales, and it's gonna probably break a Venom's record from last year, biggest October movie. R-rated and not R, but October
Got
movie.
it.
This just goes to show that what people say on Twitter is absolute hypocritical bullshit.
Yeah.
Because in the reality, when they're not trying to get accolades from their Twitter followers or whatever, they're really going in and watching these movies, or they're watching Chappelle. Yeah. They're watching all these things that you're not supposed to watch or that are bad. It's all a bunch of it's fake. Like, how are they selling out, breaking records if that's the case?
Twitter is the best and worst thing that's ever happened to society. I don't know which one.
I think it's the worst.
I mean, I don't even know. Maybe a little more worse than best. But
I think it's there's a landslide of it being the worst.
Shut it down.
It would be great.
Real quick, before we take a break, I want to mention the chair I'm sitting in. It's a very
sitting
comfortable.
in a chair?
I have a chair.
What are you, Bart?
I have a chair.
I'm Bart. Look at me. I have a chair.
That chair's looking at me funny. I don't like that chair.
What chair is this? Who brought this chair? Not my chair, not my problem. That's what I always say. That's a deep cut from an internet meme. No, for the listener, this company called eWin Racing, who makes gaming chairs and gaming tables, reached out and they're like, do you guys want a chair to review? And of course, I'm like, fuck yeah. Oh, wrong button. Fuck yeah. And I got it earlier this week. I've assembled it. I'm sitting in it now. I'm going to give it a few weeks. There's going to be a full written and audio review. And this may be my new podcasting chair because it's comfy. It's dead quiet. But for the listener, check out ewinracing.com. If you go to our website, there is a banner for an affiliate link. You can use promo code JOCKNERD. Get 25% off any eWin Racing chair. And we'll let you know in the next few weeks how this chair is doing. I gotta spend some time in it.
So today's whatever we choose is a chair.
I chose a chair.
Furniture.
There, we're going to choose furniture. Pretty dope chair. We're going to take a quick break here, play some promos, and we'll be back with another Patreon-sponsored movie review right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Evan.
Hey, Jason Underwood.
And we hope you're enjoying the shows on the Danger Entertainment Network, now including the Bearded Ones comedy podcast.
Yeah, we're super thrilled to be a part of this awesome lineup, guys. And what we do here on our show is, look, we are just trying to make you guys laugh through all kinds of different avenues.
Hear me out here. Yeah. Hear me out.
Please.
What we are is we're two geeky white dudes talking and trying to be funny.
Yeah, not try to blow in your mind here with something brand new, but
you never heard anything like this. We talk about Star Wars. We're talking about superheroes.
Talking about Marvel movies, man. Look, we're cutting some we're breaking some damn boundaries over here.
We are breaking new ground.
Yeah.
But for real, what we do is we play invented games.
Yeah, and we try to spin everything into a brand new fun game that we've made up. We filter it all through that sensibility, and
we're both improvisers, so a lot of what we talk about ends up in sort of a scene that we have a lot of fun with. We talk about our lives, pop culture, and movies. We talk about a little bit of everything. So if that's what you like, check us out, Bearded Ones Comedy Podcast on the Danger Entertainment Network.
They look like Vikings.
And
Listener, if you enjoy the show and you want more show and you want to support the show, join our fan club, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Type that in. It'll get you right there. Everyone gets bonus content. You sign up, you pick a tier, you get an exclusive RSS feed with bonus content. The shows come out early. This show, Anthony's spin-off show, which you're taking a little break, Anthony.
I mean, I'm not going to have the consistency. Maybe I will, but I've decided, or I've just don't have as many guests yet. So
that's all right. Take a little hiatus.
I do have something though with one of our listeners in October.
I love when you get
a little
the listeners.
Halloween special with a listener named Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks Winterbottom the Third?
Yeah, that motherfucker. He likes horror movies apparently. So strap yourselves in, fucks. Halloween time.
Halloween time. And if you sign up for the $10 a month tier, you get to do something fun, which is pick any movie for us to watch and review. You essentially can force us to watch a good movie or any piece of shit movie that you want. And sometimes it backfires on us. Sometimes it's a good movie. It's been a lot of fun doing these.
You've been knocking these out these last couple weeks.
I love like just watching random movies every week picked by our listeners. I got to give a huge thanks to listener, Patreon supporter Jesse Rodriguez. This week he went from $5 a month to $10 a month. Talking nerd. So he is in that tier. He gets a movie pick. He sent in his movie pick. Jesse says, I'm going with the world's first superhero from 1989, my man Patrick Swayze as the legendary Dalton. My pick is Roadhouse.
Oh, I love that movie.
Everyone seems to love this movie. There's boobies in it.
It's terrible. It's totally watchable.
Patrick Swayze, Kelly Lynch.
Never seen it.
He plays a bouncer. I've never watched Roadhouse either.
It's the one thing that it has against it. It's about rednecks, but like if you can get past that, it's great.
Thank God for those rednecks. Sam Elliott, Patrick Swayze, Kelly Lynch, Ben Gazzara.
Was it Roadhouse 66?
Dick Gazzini?
Roadhouse. Dick Gazzini's in this? Roadhouse from 1989, Anthony.
Oh, Ben Gazzara.
But is it called Roadhouse 66?
No, it's just called Roadhouse.
It's called Roadhouse.
That's probably another movie called Roadhouse.
See, the thing is, when we make these reviews, it costs us all money because you have to rent them, we have to find them and rent them. I think it's on Amazon right now.
That's what the Patreon is for.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, but these are like that's why we have it at a $10 tier.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because
we all have to individually rent it.
There's big discussion about Lisa Morrison's Canadian movie pick.
I hope it goes the other way and not the Canadian movie.
I don't know. I kind of want to see Wolf Cop, but Goonies is also a great movie.
I'd rather see Goonies because I've never seen it.
Somebody had a good point. Somebody else will pick up Goonies. Maybe force us to watch Wolf Cop. Probably don't want to watch the Wolf Cop. I'm so curious as to what the fuck a Wolf Cop is.
So many moves to be made on this chessboard.
I know. We'll see what happens. We'll keep you informed. But right now, we are doing a sponsored movie review of the movie Zombieland from 2009. Here's your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This review sponsored by dedicated to listener Patreon supporter Austin Clements, who's been a patron for 5 months. And this was his pick. Thank you, Austin. Remember he won the whole, what was that? We gave out a bunch of shit, right? Yeah, we still owe him something, I think. I sent out the video shout out. Still think we Austin, we owe you the video shout out. We will get to it. Enjoy the other stuff in the meantime. Anyway, Zombieland 2009, Rotten Tomatoes. This movie sitting at 90%.
Oh, shit.
Whoa.
The average rating. Whoa. So this is what's weird about the tomato meter. 90%, average rating, 7.38 out of 10. That's how it really plays out. Box office wise, this movie was made for $23.6 million. Rated R, not a huge budget. Ends up making $102 million worldwide. Pretty sweet return on the Zombieland. I made $75 million just domestically. So they made some good money. In fact, there is a sequel we'll be getting to. Movie directed by, you're going to know a lot of these names right here. Ruben Fleischer. His first movie. Anthony, does that name ring a bell?
Venom.
Yes. Like a turd in the wind, Eddie. Ruben Fleischer, this was his first theatrical film, I believe. Written by two guys that we're also going to know, Rhett Reese, Paul Wernick. Of course, the guys that gave us both Deadpool sequels. So some pretty interesting writing, directing combo, starring Jesse Eisenberg, pre-Lex Luthor, Woody Harrelson before he was in a really bad wig at the end of Venom, Emma Stone before she was Gwen Stacy, and Abigail Breslin, who was Little Miss Sunshine back in the day, and also Amber Heard, young Amber Heard before she was Mira.
A little cameo appearance, or is it a cameo at that point?
She's a supporting actor. Cameo by, this is why I gave spoilers, because if you have not watched this movie,
I had not.
This cameo it's probably one of the best cameos in movies ever, and it's Bill Murray out of nowhere. Amazing cameo, and there is your main cast. So, Anthony, you had not watched this movie before. Did you know anything about it?
Other than it had zombies in it, no. I mean, I knew that the two main actors. I didn't even know that Emma Stone was in it.
Oh,
so,
okay.
There you go.
Well, let's do your usual patented jock plot of this zombie comedy road trip movie.
Imagine Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So just a whole universe, a whole Earth infected with this zombie virus. So most of the people are zombies. The world is in shambles. Everyone's just surviving, and it's about this virgin dude that has just had these rules to survive and comes across a bunch of wacky characters such as a redneck Woody Harrelson and then two girls that are more than meets the eye. And it's really just about that. That's all there is. And just their adventure together and growing to love each other.
It's a zombie road movie. It doesn't really have a plot. It's just one thing after another. A lot of fun zombie kills.
It's more about the characters and how they interact.
Yeah, absolutely character driven. Nerdy guy hooks up with crazy older dude and makes their way through zombie apocalypse. So, Anthony, what'd you think watching this movie for the first time?
I was
gonna play it.
No. I liked it a lot. For whatever reason, I dissed this last week because it's an '80s trope, but I like it a lot in modern films. I kind of always enjoy like the nerdy guy eventually getting the girl by the end of the movie, and that's kind of what some of this is about.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, you had Jesse Eisenberg playing the role of that he's really good at, which is a nerdy kind of guy that's kind of like awkward, and you had Emma Stone being like attractive and like this witty, sarcastic character, which she's good at, and then you had Woody Harrelson being like goofy, wacky, redneck cowboy zombie killer. So you just had all these interesting, like fun characters doing like actors and actresses playing roles that they're good at.
Their strengths, absolutely.
Yeah, they're all playing to their strengths, and then you have a wacky environment with zombies in like a road trip kind of feel. So all of it for me kind of coalesced into this, like, even though the film's really not like, there's no like amazing plot, it's so character driven, and I literally was laughing out loud throughout the entire film. And I've always, like I said, mentioned that I always enjoy the nerdy character like coming into his own and then finding the girl and getting the girl. So for me, it all coalesced into a film that I typically enjoy. I just wouldn't have tried to watch it when it came out because I wasn't interested in zombies at the time.
I mean, this was pre Walking Dead. I think Walking Dead started 2010, but we had a lot of zombie comedy genre, but it relies on the strength of those three main actors, especially Eisenberg and Harrelson.
Yeah, one more thing is like the movie that came, like Adventureland came out prior to that, which is with Eisenberg. That's one of my favorite films, actually.
And this is kind of
like teen. So it's like kind of like that.
It's Adventureland with zombies.
And then you also had Emma Stone, who I think was in Superbad prior to this.
Yep.
And it's kind of like that.
Yep.
It's with zombies. So it's like all the things I've liked before in one movie.
And you got Woody Harrelson coming back to his like natural born killers kind of persona, crazy motherfucker.
I really enjoyed it. I was happy to watch it.
Ruggs, have you seen this movie before? What are your opening thoughts?
I saw this when it came out.
Okay.
In the theater, right there.
Yeah. Wow.
I thought it was cute. It was a cute movie. That's about it. Like, the thing I liked the most about it was Woody Harrelson and Bill Murray.
Yeah.
That made
Bill Murray.
That made the movie for me. That's when I was just like, oh shit. Like, I had to tell people about it. Like, if it wasn't for that scene, maybe. Woody it would be like, kind of like I wouldn't really like encourage anybody to go see it. Shaun of the Dead was a lot more, I felt was way more hilarious, and it had come out in the same amount of time, I think.
Yeah.
Or around the same time, if I'm correct. And
it came out before, I believe.
Was it Shaun of the Dead?
Shaun of the Dead, 2004, 5 years earlier.
Yeah, so I seen Shaun of the Dead, and I was like, okay, that really is the zombie comedy.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
That is really like the best friends together, zombie comedy, hilarious. So that, like, it doesn't ever eclipse that. So that's what it's trying to do, is be a zombie comedy.
Being an American Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead's still the best.
Yeah. So it didn't eclipse that. So I was like, okay, it's cute. It's cute though. It's still like the American kind of vibe of Shaun of the Dead, but like not really as funny, but Bill Murray and Woody Harrelson it's what's worth seeing.
That cameo is so crazy.
So hilarious.
Because you never would have seen that coming.
When they pretend to do Ghostbusters.
Was there reenacting Ghostbusters? Even Woody Harrelson dancing to the Ghostbusters theme song.
Yeah, it was just that part, it just is great.
I love it. They're like, don't cross the streams. And she's playing Janine. And so good.
Yeah, she's saying, she's talking in the accent. It's funny. So, there's some cute moments in this movie. So I enjoy it. It's not like I don't like it. If you're gonna put it in zombie comedies, it's not even the best in its genre. So
it's like
probably the third best. I think. Or
second. I'll put it under Shaun of the Dead. It's second to Shaun of the Dead. But I agree with you guys. It's cute. The laughs are great. There's some great lines, great zombie kills. But there's something missing that just elevates it to the Shaun of the Dead level. Shaun of the Dead has more heart. It's a little more clever. This is pretty clever. Like, I love the rules. I thought that was great, and Eisenberg really channels like a little Woody Allen nebbish fucking character. Like, he's playing what he plays best. And, contrasting to Woody Harrelson's, I love how nobody uses their names. They're just Columbus and Tallahassee and Wichita and Little Rock, and Amber Heard is 406 because she was in apartment 406. So I also love how the zombies are virus zombies and not undead zombies. They tried to ground it a little.
I just never understand zombies. I just don't, because they all chase people to eat them.
Yeah, even though you're holding a gun right at their head, at them.
They chase people to eat them, and then at some point they're dead, and then they stop eating them when they're dead.
Right, go on to the next thing.
Yeah, I've always not understood that too. Like, you eat the zombie. Like, if you get bitten, you become a zombie. But if you get eaten, like, do they stop and eventually they let you reanimate as a zombie?
Why are they eating each other?
Right,
I don't understand.
Why would they only like to eat the non-virus people? But
they only get to eat people while they're still alive for like 5 seconds before they die, when they're tearing them apart.
They like fresh warm meat, and then they move on. In
the movies, they're always tearing people apart, but then they're always all completely whole when they're zombies.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Also, I do like that these are kind of like they're fast moving. Scary, kind of smart.
They can open doors.
Yes, they're opening gates and shit. They're climbing things, and it's kind of frightening. I think the comedy hits more than the horror aspect. I know this. It's like a road trip horror, buddy comedy, rom-com action movie.
For horror necessarily.
I mean, there were scares, but it was definitely more comedy heavy. Which is one of the reasons Shaun of the Dead was amazing. Nobody had thought to do that before as do a zombie.
Have you seen that, Anthony?
I haven't.
Oh, you should. Somebody needs to pick that movie.
I don't know if you love it, but it doesn't have sexy girls in it, but or Bill Murray, but like it's the best zombie comedy.
Here's the thing: the strength in this movie, like we said, like Ruben Fleischer, first time director, but the people he got around him, his talent was so good they carried this movie. Shaun of the Dead, you have Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, who had been working together for years. They are so tight in their vision and in their writing. That it's so good, and it's so clever, relating zombies to like worker drones, and the Easter eggs in that movie are amazing.
Let's focus on this one.
Sorry, we're not talking about that movie.
But it's one of those things, like you're gonna watch this movie.
A comparison.
Yeah.
You can't help but think it's like if you're watching a shark movie, you're gonna always go back to Jaws.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So
zombie comedies are always gonna be compared to Shaun of the Dead. Here's another thing I loved about this. Like you said, Anthony, it's like. Imagine The Walking Dead was fun and irreverent, and they did fun stuff. I love the moments in this movie where they're doing fun stuff that you would want to do in a zombie apocalypse, like smash fucking shit just as a release. Like, if there was ever a zombie apocalypse, I'm going right to the Crate and Barrel. I'm smashing all of that shit. It just makes me nervous, all that glass stacked up on top. It'll be a lot of fun to smash.
How do they have electricity?
Oh, who knows?
Don't think about it.
Why would you turn on the park in a zombie apocalypse? The girls do make a couple of stupid decisions towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, why would you just turn on the power and the sound and the lights? It's gonna, and then why would you go in that thing that just goes up and down?
Well, the whole thing of the whole movie was they had to go to this place where there's no zombies.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even true. It was just stupid.
Well, it was, I read it as she was doing it just for her sister. She knew that it wasn't really. I think she was taking her there, and she knew, like, hey, this is like her last happy moment together with them.
Could have been a little bit quieter. Although then we wouldn't have got the scene of Tallahassee with 2 guns taking out 80 zombies from the little kiosk in his snakeskin jacket.
One of my favorite moments when you brought up the Bill Murray thing, and it literally made me scream out loud, like, oh shit, is when Bill Murray, and I kind of knew it was going to happen.
Then he gets shot?
Yes, when he walks in and impersonates a zombie, and Jesse Eisenberg just shotguns him in the chest.
Why would you walk in pretending to be... Why would Tallahassee send him to do that?
It was so stupid.
Knowing that he's going to get shot.
Such shock value fun that it was... And then just having Bill Murray dying and them all talking to him and like, oh, you could stitch it up. Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think. Funniest death ever. The best line is where Emma Stone is like, do you have any regrets? And he's like, I don't know, Garfield maybe. And I was like, oh shit, that's so good.
Shit.
He is just funny standing there. He's hilarious.
He's great. I think watching this movie though, I was getting the sense when I was watching Jesse Eisenberg, I'm like, why did they ever cast him as Lex Luthor?
He's totally not his strength.
This is not like you're really playing away from what this guy is. This guy is better off as he's better off as the awkward, little off guy.
I mean, Mark Zuckerberg, fucking perfect.
Yeah, but don't have him play a menacing villain.
No, Jimmy Olsen, maybe, okay? You know?
Right.
Who?
Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, Jimmy Olsen, yes. Horribly miscast as the Lex Luthor.
Horribly. But in this movie, I mean, this is kind of his wheelhouse. Have you guys seen Adventureland?
I think so. Oh, yeah. I don't remember it.
It's about him. It's about a nerdy guy working a summer job at a theme park, actually.
That movie came out the same year.
Yeah, I think the year before. And he falls for a hot girl, Kristen Stewart. But then she has like a dark past, that takes a weird twist. But anyways, I'm not talking about that movie. But this is like that's what that.
Yes,
that's what this is.
Yeah.
And for me at least, Emma Stone's character, up until she turns on all the lights, that is stupid.
Yeah.
Man, I really found her attractive.
Dude, I don't mind the brunette Emma Stone. Like, she's got a little darkness. She's badass.
It always helps when I actually think the girl is attractive, I would want to go for her.
She had some kind of fake tan bronzer on. Yeah. She had dark hair.
But she was really good. Did you know when
she was badass, but she was like sassy, like that, like. When a girl's attractive, when they're like super confident and they know that they're like hot shit, but they're not like flaunting in your face.
Don't care.
They're understated, but they're just confident.
That's what she had that well. She's a really good actress. Did you were you able to guess that they were playing them when they first met them, or did that get you by surprise?
No, I had no idea.
Wow, nice. Yeah,
I didn't even know that Emma Stone was in the movie until she shows up.
That's great. You're like, ugh.
I thought Amber Heard was the lead. I'm like, oh, Amber Heard, she's hot too. I like her.
Amber Heard, zombies out. That's another great line. He's like, the first girl that likes me, and now she's trying to eat me.
I've always wanted to brush the girl's hair behind her ear.
Somebody's gonna get their hair brushed out of their ear. Like, it had some great lines, great zombie violent kills. Like, I think that is another big selling point. It's just fun to see them fucking, like, Tallahassee doesn't like to use guns. He'll use a fucking banjo. He likes to get in it. You think he kind of has a death wish, but he just wants to fuck things up.
I wish I would have thought of it when Rug Boy said it, but the movie that can be described in one word. It's cute. That is,
it's
there's a lot of like cute moments.
Yes, which you wouldn't think,
because there's like a fine movie.
There's a fine line between being overly cheesy and having cute moments.
Yeah.
And this movie has much more cute moments than it does like roll my eyes, like, oh, that's just played out cheesiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just cute and it's like charming and you're kind of rooting for them. I love Tallahassee going, time to nut up or shut up, over and over again. That's a great line.
I found myself, maybe because I saw it already, I found myself like, kind of like, all right, I'm like looking at my phone a little bit during the movie. So it didn't really captivate me as much as it did the first time when I was in the theater.
Yeah. Well, because if you spoil the Bill Murray thing, like, it's hard to enjoy it again.
I was all there for that, but there are some parts I was like, all right, I don't care. Like,
I love that he's just looking for Twinkies and can't find some fucking Twinkies.
Yeah, well, the Twinkies
Snowballs.
The Twinkie thing was, it's all cute stuff. It's all cute stuff.
Another great line at the very end after they kiss Eisenberg and Emma Stone, and he goes, finally got to first base. Not bad for that scrawny little spit fuck. Just good stuff. Good lines. Yeah, I mean, it's cute. It's a simple video game-like plot story.
Do you remember the rules, Imran?
I remember some of the rules. First one, cardio. That poor fat bastard.
Yeah.
Double Tap, that's an important one.
That's what the name of the next movie is.
Yes, that's the sequel. The bathrooms was hilarious. Don't go in bathrooms. Here, let's go over some of these rules. These are all great rules. Seatbelts, very important. Travel light, get a kick-ass partner. Don't be a hero. But then he changes that later. It's important to limber up.
Stretch out. You got to stretch out before you go.
Stretch out. Always check the back seat. I like Rule 32, enjoy the little things. Because, sometimes you just want to go smash things.
Like Twinkies.
He shot the box of Twinkies.
So what are we rating this thing?
So originally, I feel like the reason the movie ends up this way is the writers had said originally they were pitching this for a TV show. Mm-hmm. And they had to stretch it out. And then Ruben Fleischer gave him the idea to end it at a theme park just to kind of have a third act ending. And I thought that the theme park scenes were good. Like those kills were like Woody Harrelson hanging off the ride, just fucking shooting at zombies while it's going around.
That was cool. Yeah.
Fucking great.
There was a lot of like good, funny stuff or clever stuff with him on the rides and stuff.
Yeah.
Killing the zombies. None of it really made sense because there was a horde of them attacking him. I don't know how.
Why are they on the roller coaster like in random spots where he could shoot them?
Right, and then how is he able to then get off the ride and then run to another location without them swarming? But it is just funny like watching him on the rides.
The other thing I didn't understand is the girls were going on these rides, but I'm like, who's turning the ride on? How did you turn it on and get on the fucking ride? How does this work? There's nobody there. You don't have any carnies. But
don't think about the plot. Just think about the characters interacting.
It's
That's
just
what it's all
a
about.
string of fun, like zombie kills with road trip adventure.
The movie is at its core about a bunch of lonely people finding a family together. That's really what it's about.
Yeah,
it's all the other stuff is some of it doesn't make sense, but it really isn't what the movie's going for.
Well, let's rate it, and then I want to talk about the sequel that is coming out this month in a few weeks. Zombieland.
That's why we reviewed it.
Double Tap, perfect timing. Thank you, Austin Clemens. Anthony, what would you give this movie?
I'd give it a solid 7.5. It's a solid, entertaining movie. It's not something I would go out of my way. I think Ruggs mentioned this earlier. I wouldn't go out and be like, you have to see this movie. But if it's on, I'm going to say you probably will enjoy this movie if you watch it.
Okie dokie, Ruggs.
I feel like since I've seen it once already, I think a lot of the surprise factor of it wasn't new, and I kind of knew what to expect. And so, like, even though like I still love the Bill Murray scenes and I still love Woody Harrelson, he's great. It didn't have that same impact as if I would have seen it for the first time. I probably would have given it a better rating,
like me.
But I'm gonna go 6.5.
There you go. Seeing it seeing it and not knowing what's going to happen is a big factor into
key.
This movie.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the movie. It's clever. It kind of elevates the genre. It's not as clever as Shaun of the Dead, but it's second to that.
Is this a genre now? Zombie comedy?
Zombie comedy is a genre. There's I
didn't realize this movie before you get your rating that it was 10 years old either. I was like, oh. What?
Right? That's crazy. Yeah.
I'm like, wow. I'm 10 years older than I was in 2009. Holy fuck.
Before The Walking Dead on TV was huge, this is people were loving this kind of zombie stuff and so clever, fun, cute, exactly. I want to give it an 8, but I'm going to go 7.75 because it just I could use a little bit more of a plot, maybe a little bit more cleverness and a little bit more heart between, but cast is excellent. And Ruben Fleischer, his direction, surprisingly not bad, which leads me to believe clearly Venom, the writing was shit and that's the best he could do with it.
I feel like I feel the exact opposite. I feel like that his direction is just okay.
Yeah.
And that's why Venom is just okay.
Oh, I think he had better writing here and a great cast, and that helped.
Shaun of the Dead has, a great director.
Yeah.
So, and
Edgar Wright has a style, absolutely definite style. Ruben Fleischer, not so much.
I would kind of lean more towards Ruggs. The only thing that I saw that was like a little distinct, and I've seen it in other movies, is like the writing of what he's thinking, like the rules while it's happening.
In the scene.
But everything else was kind of just, it's competently shot.
Yeah, that's kind of like
it's just okay. Yeah,
it's just okay. That the rules is kind of like
I flipped them around so easy.
But I'm sticking with my score. But the rules make it more like a video game thing. They even have that one zombie kill of the week like medallion.
The rules make it like what's his face that did not super bad.
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. See, that's Edgar Wright, and that dude has a definite style. Let's not forget, Ruben Fleischer did not get Venom 2. That went to Andy Serkis. He is directing the sequel, Zombieland Double Tap. Anthony, you guys watched this trailer? Did you guys watch this? I put it in the show notes.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I saw the trailer.
Click the trailer. This thing picks up.
Should I watch it now and then we'll talk about it?
Okay, watch it now.
Talking nerd. It's cute. It's cute.
It looks like
it's
Zombieland.
Just as cute as the first movie.
Double Tap looks like more of what made the first movie great.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, I enjoyed the trailer. I did smirk, and you heard me maybe laugh a little. It's one of those trailers. It's again very cute. It is a little weird seeing Emma Stone and all them 10 years later. Jesse Eisenberg hasn't aged at all.
It looks like it picks up where the other movie left off too.
No, I can tell that everyone else is 10 years older except Jesse Eisenberg. It's one of those it reminds me of those 80s or like when they started making sequels to popular movies back when they didn't plan to make sequels.
Yeah.
Where it was like, okay, what do we do for the sequel? Well, let's make it like the first one.
Only more.
But just more.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they're doing with this.
But that's all you really got to do with this movie. You see,
let's just amp it up to 9 or 10.
I mean, I love the slow motion zombie kills, more crazy zombie kills. I don't know if they're going to do that.
I think that might be trailer editing. I think that you see things in the trailer and they're edited like all cool, and then you see the movie and it's not edited less like that.
It looks like
I did enjoy that all of them. That starts with just how they're all Academy Award nominees.
They are.
Yes, that is great.
That's crazy.
And it's just a stupid movie with them.
Yes, and like why they love these movies? Like they're so good at it.
I might see it in the theater.
Yeah, dude. This got me geeked for Double Tap watching this movie. Couple of things. Apparently, the zombies have evolved more in this movie. There's some sort of Terminator type inspired zombie that doesn't stop. So the zombies are getting a little more dangerous, a little more smart. You have the new cast members like Rosario Dawson and new kills with a fucking monster
Wilson,
truck. And
what's his name?
Oh, and then at the end, Luke Wilson and the dude from Silicon Valley show up. It's another nerdy white guy and another crazy old dude. And she's like, am I hallucinating? What's going on here? So they meet another pair that's just like them. That should make for a lot of fun jokes. But yeah, it looks like another great zombie comedy.
I do have one gripe but this happens in every zombie film.
Yeah.
Or every zombie media outlet.
Yeah.
Media property, whatever, is how are the characters always so like well groomed and like having good clothes and they don't stink? Like Emma Stone looks good, and what's his name? Jesse Eisenberg's hair is nice and groomed and perfectly curly.
They would be completely dirty.
Don't ask questions, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just enjoy it.
I'm sorry. Why am I doing that?
But I love, you know what I love is Woody Harrelson's outfits in the first movie and in this movie. Apparently, he had a lot of input and like bought his own clothes.
It seems like one of those roles for Woody Harrelson where he just gets to just have fun.
Yeah, he's totally having fun, chewing the scenery. I love all the different hats he wears. The hat makes the whole outfit. But yeah, Zombieland Double Tap, October 18th, coming out very soon. And Austin Clements, great pick. Thanks for being a patron. Once you get to a year, Austin, you send us another movie.
We'll turn a year old.
That one. You can be 1 year old on the Patreon. We'll get to do a second movie. Yeah, good stuff. Good zombie stuff. Let's get to some news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation. I should just have Anthony do that live and do all the sound effects from now on. Stop playing that clip.
News from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
That's so good. Yeah, I don't need the soundboard anymore, Anthony. I'm just gonna poke at you. I will press you, and you will play these clips.
No problem.
We have a voicemail.
You gotta know which button to push, though.
If I press the right nipple, He says this.
Geekerific.
And if I press the left nipple.
That's a big fuck up right there.
I think that's how that works. If I press, and then the belly button.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, wait, that is you.
Yeah, that's me.
We have a voicemail from Jimmy the Geek Raven, everybody.
Raven?
Jimmy the Geek checking in.
Hey, listener, what's up? Thanks for pressing play.
He's doing it
this
too.
Voicemail from Jimmy the Geek. Hey, I know I confused some people. That wasn't Imran. This is Jimmy the Geek. Hey, guys, hope things are good. Loving the show, as always. I had a question for you, or maybe a possible suggestion. You guys have been doing a lot of these Patreon movie reviews, which have been awesome. Been making me kind of go back through streaming services to find some movies that I've never seen before, so that's been a lot of fun. I had a suggestion about reviewing possibly old graphic novels or comics. The reason I ask is because I just finished up reading Batman, The Long Halloween. I believe it's from 1996, 1997. I know that's like an iconic Batman graphic novel, but I'll be honest with you, I had never actually sat down and read it before. So was wondering if you might possibly want to do a review of that or any other type of old graphic novel or current graphic novel or comic. I know other listeners are still reading comics and maybe they want you to review one, but kind of go back to the roots. I remember you guys, when you first started, we talked about doing comic reviews sometimes, but never really came to fruition, but would love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Also just read Batman Year One for another suggestion, but just a suggestion. Loving the movie reviews, but thought I just might toss something out there for you guys. So keep up the good work. And for those who haven't listened, Imran and I did a review of the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're probably the only two people watching it, but hey, it's on Patreon if you want to check it out. So thanks guys, and check you later.
I did it when he did it. Thanks, Jimmy, for all the kind words. What are you guys' thoughts? What do we think?
I don't know.
What do you think about what?
Reviewing. Did you listen to the fuck he just, motherfucker, put that phone away. Somebody take Anthony's phone. The fuck is going on?
Let me tell you about Tony, all right? Tony ruins lives.
Red Boy comment?
Jesus. I don't know. Why did the ghost get depressed about not being able to impregnate his girlfriend?
Why?
Because he had a long Halloweeny. I'm sorry.
This is going great.
Every time I hear the long Halloween, that's all I think of that.
I don't know. Really, I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, he wants us to review comics.
Oh, right.
Remember we used to the first couple of episodes?
We did it. He talked about the one with the Juggernaut that wouldn't stop.
Oh, I narrated
Remember we
the
did
whole
comic artists you should know.
But
no one listened to those.
Here's the thing about reviewing comics, and it is. I mean, it's fun. It's so niche. At this point, it's so niche.
So I like his suggestion.
I like the suggestion. I just don't think
it's niche,
there's that big of an audience that really cares.
Think what we could do is go back and review classic stuff that's not too long, because the long Halloween is like 300 pages. There's 13 issues of fucking material.
That's not that. That's really. I mean, it's a lot of pages, but. It's all quick reads because you're just reading.
That's true. There's lots of.
It's not 300 pages of written word.
No.
This is the thing. Like, I've read shitloads of comics in my life, like shitloads and shitloads and shitloads. I don't remember half of them. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to reread them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I want to put in that kind of time to read something that I've already read so I can do a proper review of it. I've read all of the classics. I've read Long Halloween, and I don't even remember what happens in that.
I've read it too, and I have a hard time remembering.
I mean, I know the gist of it, but I don't remember exact scenes.
It's got all the Batman villains. Calendar Man was in it or something, right?
Yeah.
Let me piggyback on that too. I liked reading comics. I did. I really enjoyed it. The only issue is it's not as easy to find this stuff. Well, I guess there is online stuff, but it's not as easy to find the actual paperback or whatever.
With Amazon, it's very simple to find nowadays.
True. I guess. Okay, you're right.
But then we'd have to purchase something.
We'd have to buy it.
Well, we have to buy it. But here's.
But I think. No, listen.
Yeah.
You'd buy it.
Yeah.
We'd all buy it. We'd have to track it down. We'd have to read it, which is fine. Whatever. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we're going to do that work in, I would say, maybe 20 people in our chat or in our group really read comics religiously.
You're probably right. And also, I'm still buy comics every now and then, but they're fucking $4 a pop now, which is shit. That's some bullshit. Like that's you can't have a pull list.
Insanity to me.
$3.99
comics are like that now.
Yeah, is your average price, and some of them $5, $6, up to $10.
Disney Plus is $4.99 for a month.
Yes, for all that shit. So that kind of soured me on. You can't buy and read them.
I don't know if it could be a weekly thing, but if we could do it occasionally,
we could easily do this. Just make a list of all of our favorite comics and then recommend them.
Maybe once every quarter, every 4 months, we pick a classic graphic novel that's not too long, that everyone's talked about. That's
I don't care about the length.
Okay.
It's more just
something that's regarded as like classic literature. I don't know. It'd be nice.
We'll see. Yeah. Maybe we'll try it once and see how it goes.
Appreciate the suggestion, Jimmy. Thank you. Also, happy belated birthday. It was Jimmy's birthday last week. Chugging nerd. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
But, we are all passionate about the source material, clearly. And there are times when you can compare the source material to the movie.
In order to do a proper review, we'd have to reread them.
We would have to reread them.
And some of them are like The Dark Knight Returns or something. That's a pretty hefty read. You'd have to spend a few hours at least reading that. So it's like, it's a commitment that we would do for our people if there was a real demand for it. And I could see doing it every once in a while, but not like on a constant basis.
But you can find stuff like Killing Joke isn't very long. You can find stuff 32 to 48 pages, self-contained stories, old graphic novels from back in the day that I think would be I would love to talk about. But yes, we will. It's a good suggestion and maybe possibility. Every now and then it would be a nice change up from stuff. We just need to make a list.
Yeah, there's just so much stuff.
There's so much out there. The next thing, Rick Martinez comments on the News from the Nation. He says, with all the heroes appearing in the Arrowverse Crisis on Infinite Earths, do you think they are all going to have dialogue? Is there enough time? Probably not. Here, check this out. Here is the crazy cast of this that we know so far. Of course, Black Lightning is part of this for the first time. All the cast from 5 shows, Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, Batwoman. You have Tom Cavanaugh playing 3 people. Harrison Wells, of course, Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne, and Pariah, bad guy. You have Stephen Amell playing Green Arrow and multiple versions of Oliver Queen from Time. You have Brandon Ruth playing Adam and Superman from Kingdom Come. Have you guys seen these photos of him? He looks like the Alex Ross painting. Geek boner.
He does.
It looks pretty dope. And then there's one with him and Tyler Hoechlin Superman. Multiple Supermans. They've also...
He just dwarfs him.
I know. He's so tall, dude. And Tyler Hoechlin is not as tall. But the fact that Brandon Ruth gets to play Superman again after Superman Returns, that's pretty cool. They have cast Osric Chow as Ryan Choi Adam, who is one of the Adams from the comics. But here, check this out. Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne, John Cryer as Lex Luthor from Supergirl. You have Tom Welling and Erica Durance, the Clark Kent and Lois Lane from Smallville. Geek boner. In this, you have the girl who played Huntress in the shitty Birds of Prey 2000 TV show.
Oh, shit.
She's going to be in this. Jonah Hex from Legends of Tomorrow will be in this. John Wesley Shipp, 90s Flash in this. Bitsy Tulloch, Lois Lane from Supergirl. And let's not forget, of course, Burt Ward, the most important 66 Robin in this. And get fucking Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. Throw them all in there. I kind of love how they're squishing.
Yeah, Wheeler in there.
I love how they're pulling all the DC shows from all these different places. It's crazy. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been following the
I don't think you have
in a long
to. You can
time,
just
but,
watch these.
But this is something that is kind of. I would agree. This is probably pretty fun. This is a cool thing.
Yeah, and hopefully, I think they're probably going to kill.
I still am laughing that Burt Ward will be in this. This fucking Robin. He's so fat.
He can't be playing Robin. That would be ridiculous. No.
He's so fat and so old.
Floppy jock.
I bet he has a floppy jock at his age.
He does. He definitely does.
He can't be playing Robin. But man, what an ambitious fucking thing.
Ruggs, what's the deal with Ashley Scott? Is she good as Huntress? You're probably the only person that's watched that show.
I watched that show, and you gotta understand, like the quality of things have changed.
This was
like
2000s.
TV, yeah, like TV was shitty, like in the
Early 2000s.
20 years ago. It was just like no one took it seriously. And now that you have Game of Thrones and you have all of these great, some of the best stuff is on TV now.
Right.
And even better than the movies, a lot of the stuff that's on TV. So it's a different playing field. For the playing field that it was in, it was fine. It wasn't like all the shows were shitty.
Yeah, at the time,
Buffy was you watch Buffy, it's very campy and whatever. But I love Buffy for its time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in that realm, I think it was fine. It had a Batman costume in there. There was a guy in a Batman costume, but you never saw his face.
Oh, you just saw him in shadow and stuff?
Yes.
Wow.
So he was even involved in, they had Black Canary in the show. They had Catwoman, who was played by Mia Sara, who was from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, the girl. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think she was Selena Kyle. And,
she'd be good for that. Yeah.
And so, it was fine for what it was. And, it was campy and cheesy. So, would you watch it now and think it was good? No, you're going to watch it now and think it's complete garbage. But, there was a Batgirl in it.
Yeah.
What's her name? The girl from Starship Troopers was Batgirl.
Oh, not Denise Richards, the other one.
The other one. She was Batgirl, and then she became Oracle in that, and she was in a wheelchair.
That's more Birds of Prey than this fucking movie. That's coming out a little bit.
Yeah, there's a episode where the girl who plays Batgirl fights one of the people, the girl with the tattoo on her leg. She's in all the Justice League of America TV shows. Remember that show?
Yeah.
The cartoon?
Yeah.
The girl with the tattoo that runs the fight joint.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
They have a fight with each other.
Oh.
In full costume, Batgirl costume. Looks like the Batgirl costume.
Wow.
So, it's it is what it is. It's a comic book show. It was, remember the really bad Flash show with John Wesley Shipp?
Yep.
He's in
the
this.
same level.
In this. Yep. Yeah. That was real. That was.
It's the same level of
shitty, but
good.
I watched it and I loved it, but it wasn't that great. But it was 90s.
It was Chizola. But yeah, they didn't know how to do it yet.
Yeah, so I can't wait. I think they're gonna kill Oliver Queen, Stephen Amell. It's the last season of Arrow. He's got to be fucking done with this character. There's gonna be a spinoff with the two canaries and Oliver and Felicity's daughter from the future. They're spinning off a girl show on the CW. Also, this week, all the CW shows I think come back. Batwoman debuts the day this show posts, October 6th. Ruby Rose following Supergirl. And also, Walking Dead Season 10. Remember Walking Dead? It's still on, people.
Oh, shit.
Season 10 premiere the day this show posts. I will be watching it begrudgingly. The show needs to die. But I forgot what was going on in the show anyway.
It's The Walking Dead.
It's The Walking Dead, yeah. Ruggs, you watching the Tittins Season 2 at all?
I am watching Tittins.
It's a very uneven show.
It is not good.
There's good parts.
There's one episode that was okay, and then the rest of them are dog shit.
It's very uneven, but they got Deathstroke and what's his name? Dr. Light. I don't know.
Bobby Light?
Bobby Slayton.
Do
you know who Bobby Light is?
Who's Bobby Light?
That's from, remember Robin Big with Rob Dyrdek and Big Black?
Yeah, on MTV.
And then that was his his alter ego when he was a kind of like a pop star, Bobby Light. Anyway, that's whenever I hear Dr. Light, I think about Rob Dyrdek and Bobby Light. Gonna do you right. Anyway, I just put in a YouTube link of Barbara Gordon and Lady Shiva.
So you can look
at that. This is from Birds of Prey, this TV show. It's really bad, but you can see her. She's in the costume.
Oh yeah, look at it. She's wearing a cowl and she's throwing things at her.
Oh no!
Oh my God! Look at that! It's got the yellow gloves and boots and everything. Look at this slow action fucking fighting. Why are they fighting in slow motion?
The fighting is terrible.
But they came full with costumes and shit.
Yeah, they fucking brought the fucking costumes to life.
That's the Batgirl costume, but it does not.
Yeah,
look, it looks
they gave it a shot. They went for it, but it was
for it. It's real bad.
It looks like Batman 66 a little bit with the fucking gold and blue back. Wow,
it looks like Batman 66 with the way they're fucking fighting and talking to one another.
It's horrible. Wow, I can't believe I never watched the show when it was out. They did all this crazy shit on this show. Not good. And Lady
not funny.
Not funny.
It was not funny. But they tried to make it. Everyone watched. Fuck that show.
Yeah, that's about the amount of it. Okay, we have a Sports Felty League update. It's October. That means it could be baseball. It could be football. I don't know what the fuck it is. Let's find out.
What's up, you beautiful weirdos?
Hi.
This is Jason Dutch, and I am here. Oh, hi, Rug Boy. Hello. How are you?
Oh, is he talking to me?
That's nice to hear. You're looking like
What's
you
up,
have a few
dude?
extra stains on your felt there. You must have had a fun night.
Double tap.
At the puppet orgy.
Double
Must have been
tapping.
Good fun. Yeah. That's good to hear. Anyway, about the Fantasy Baseball League, I know that you guys are very happy to hear that the season is over. Next year, certainly will probably truncate that a bit so that it doesn't annoy the non-jocks. But we do have a winner. We have a champion. We have a grand sultan of fantasy baseball. And that person, well, first of all, let's talk about second place. Felix Fiddlesticks Winterbottom finished in second. He lost the finals to, drumroll please, Brian Goff. By the way, also a listener to Voice from the Underground. We love you, buddy. Had a great season. First place, pretty much start to finish in his side of the division. I believe he was in the Thanos division. Felix was
Anus Rising?
Felix was in the Dark Side division. So once again, Marvel defeats DC. And you got some gear coming. Felix Fiddlesticks, you might have some also. We'll see. Later, guys. Thanks for playing. Love you.
Are we sending the gear?
Brian Goff will be getting a Jock and Nerd t-shirt. I believe that's what I promised.
We agree to that.
Part of the package. Once again, DC does it first. Marvel does it better. Jock and Nerd. Congratulations, Brian Goff, for that long season of fantasy. What was that? Baseball? Cricket? Was it cricket?
Baseball's been very, very good to me.
Baseball. Cricket's stepbrother. Baseball. Finally, some announcements to make before we peace out. Would like to announce. Oh, first of all, go visit Voice from the Underground, Jason Dutch, who you just heard from Voice from the Underground podcast. When the Spider-Man news broke, I got to process my thoughts that night on an emergency.
You were on that show.
Yeah, emergency.
You traitor. Fuck.
Look, they announced it after we recorded the motherfuckers. How dare they?
All right, it's fine.
I had to process. We did an emergency geek pod with Jason Dutch and Mark from Big Heads Media, which leads into my next announcement. We, the Jock and Nerd podcast, will be joining the Big Heads Media Network. Jock and Nerd.
I was always told as a kid that I had a big dome.
Oh, so you fit in perfectly.
I rock a 7 and 3/8.
Wow,
Yeah.
is that a big hat size?
I think so. 7
That's
and almost
pretty big
7.5.
You do. You're a little top heavy. You taper down to a point.
What's that?
From your head down, you taper down to your feet. Like you're top heavy. Bobbleheady. No? Big head? I don't know.
I did have a big. I had a big head as a kid.
Did you grow into it?
I think so. I think it now fits my body better now that I've not 95 pounds.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
So, very appropriate that we join Big Heads Media. I have a clip from that episode, link in the show notes if you want to check it out. But this clip is where we announced it. Check this out.
So, a few months before we get to talking here, a few months ago, it was probably like 2 months ago but right after we joined Big Heads, I told Mark, I said, there's a couple other shows that you should talk to. And one of them was Imran. And I guess there was miscommunication or something, or Mark actually listened to Imran's show and I don't know what it was. But I guess we have a somewhat big announcement here. So go ahead. Mark, give him the welcome.
Breaking news. Right here, exclusive to Voice from the Underground. The Jock and Nerd podcast will be the newest member of the Big Heads Media Empire.
Jock and Nerd. Ooh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Yes, we had a conversation. I thought we had an understanding, but then he may have listened. But I fooled him. We're in, people. Jock and Nerd coming to Big Heads Media. There you go. They still want us.
Not only did you fucking cheat on us, you'd made an announcement about our show on another show.
What? Yeah. Oh, look, Jason forced this. I am a little bit of a slut. I've been sleeping around. What can I tell you guys?
You do suck.
A little bit slutty here, but I love this movie.
I love this movie.
There, that fixes everything, right? Sure.
Sure.
Well, look, we're happy to join Mark. We at some point we'll have him on the show. He's a really cool guy. He can turn you guys on to the network and what he's all about. Fun guy to talk to. Also, don't forget, this week the show posts Ace Comic-Con, Rosemont, October 11th to 13th. Anthony, you still got to make it out on the Friday. We
might make it Friday. We'll talk. We
got press credentials. I may take Friday off. I definitely will be there on the Saturday. So
I won't be there on the Saturday.
It's a first year for Ace Comic-Con. Support the cons. We'll be there. Check it out. Link in the show notes.
Con!
Not that con.
Oh, sorry.
Motherfucking
Oh, shit.
con.
Shaka Khan?
Shaka Khan. Let me love you, Shaka Khan. You know, I haven't played this yet. We need more Apple Podcast ratings. Here's how it's going so far. If you've been listening, I've been asking our listeners if they are on an iOS device and in the U.S. I forgot to mention all that. Visit Apple Podcasts, light up those stars.
Yeah.
We're trying to get to 200 ratings so that we can influence the tomato meter and get accepted to. Wouldn't that be great that we could influence the
Wouldn't you like to see a little rug boy with a little tomato next to his name?
We would join the man.
We would be fake news media. We would join the man.
We would join the anti everything except Marvel bias.
Disney, every Marvel movie is better than the last one.
Yes, 90% automatically for any Marvel movie.
If it's any Marvel movie, started at 90.
Ruggs is going to say this movie sucks, and it's still going to get a fresh.
Yes, he's going to be like,
I don't know how it's going to happen, but it is going to happen.
Hey, it happens now, so
all you iPhonies with your iPhone and your Apple stuff, get over there and give us a good review. Or just, you don't have to even write anything. Just give us stars.
Just light up the stars. We're up to 90 ratings now. When we started, it was 83.
We need another 100 and something.
It's getting there slowly but surely. Look, I didn't put a time schedule on this. It'll get there when it get there. I want to thank all the listeners for leaving wonderful reviews. Lately, you can check them out. If you go to our website, I have a page with all iTunes reviews under the reviews tab. You could read all the reviews.
Oh, really?
Jockandnerd.com. Yes, it automatically populates in this plugin that I have
I want
on the website. And there's a ton of them. But 90 ratings. We're trying to get to 200. Light it up, folks. Thank you very much. Ruggs, where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy, where I'm just, trying to be the voice of reason and the voice of treason.
The voice of treason. You're having some great conversations over there. I love checking your...
I got into a good one with Maddie.
Yeah, Matt Dahlhauer. I love checking your threads. I love checking the Twitter threads. Show notes for this episode, jockandnerd.com/296. Visit our website. It will have links to everything we talked about, how to get in touch with the show, how you can get a gaming chair for 25% off from eWin Racing. And all the ways to get in touch and support the show. Thank you for listening. Tell a friend, spread the geekery, give them one of these.
Talking Nerd.
And we'll continue to rule the geek world. I can't talk. My brain is mush, but I made it. Thanks for listening to the Talking Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
Somebody touch my spaghetti!
Their bottom is very weak.